Hey everyone, I'm back with another video devotion for you to follow along with your family. Yesterday we began talking about a question that a few of you asked this past Sunday night during our video hangout. The question was, if God is good, why is there suffering and evil in the world? This is also known as the THEODICY question. THEODICY being a fancy word for how we deal with this problem of evil. In yesterday's devotion, I talked about the first part of this question, why we can assume that God is good. Today, I want to explore the next part of the question, building off of that assumption that God is good. So why is there evil? It's easy to try to answer this question too simply. Someone could argue that either God isn't good or God isn't powerful enough to stop the evil in the world. But there's actually another way to look at this problem by thinking about freedom. In America, we love our freedoms. But right now, I'm actually talking about free will, which means that we have the ability to make our own choices, even though there are always consequences. So think about your day so far. You've probably made dozens, if not hundreds of choices. Some choices are big, some are small. Some choices you make without really paying attention, and others you take your time deciding. For example, you chose to get out of bed today. Maybe you chose to take a shower, to brush your teeth, to pick out what you would wear today, whether or not you would make your bed. I'm guessing probably not. We also make choices to follow what we're taught is right from wrong. From an early age, we're taught not to do certain things like lying or stealing or spreading jelly on your dad's car. When we were little, we tend to follow the rules whether we like it or not, but by the time we become teenagers, we have a little bit more free will to obey or not to obey. And this is how the story of God's relationship with humanity begins in Genesis chapter 3, when the first humans disobey God's rule not to eat the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. They choose to listen to a bad influence, the serpent, who tempted them, saying that they would be like God if they ate the fruit. Now, there's a whole lot to unpack here. First, why would the serpent contradict God? The serpent was just created a little while ago, but apparently it had knowledge that the other animals did not. And this actually reflects an ancient belief that snakes were sacred. Because they frequently shed their skin, snakes were symbolic of immortality. So a serpent was often believed to have more wisdom than average. And second, the serpent was actually right. Yikes. The first humans ate the fruit and they didn't die like God said they would. Instead, their first emotion was shame because they were naked. So what happened here? Well, there's no one right way to interpret the story, but I think it tells us that freedom, free will, has been a part of creation from the beginning. Free will existed in the serpent who chose to tempt the first humans. Free will existed in the first humans who chose to disobey God. And maybe, just maybe, free will was part of God's design all along, because even God seemed to change God's mind about what would happen when the humans ate the forbidden fruit. So let's pause there for today, because that's a whole lot to think about. And you know, one of the nice things about being a Baptist is that we believe in the freedom of conscience, meaning that we can read and interpret the scriptures by listening to how God speaks to us through them. See? Freedom. On Thursday, I'll finally get around to talking about how freedom can be both a wonderful thing and sometimes a challenging burden. Tomorrow, we will have another Together worship video to share with you from our team of North Carolina youth leaders. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay home, and share this devotion with a friend. See you soon.